Hi everyone and welcome to the British Online Championships round 5 of the round 4 in fact, of the open section, and we're going to be following all the games tonight. Here we go. Here are the pairings. So top board we have Mickey Adams against Mohammed Ayan Ismail, Diamond. And then we have a young Scottish player, Freddie Gordon, who we saw last night with a great win over Mark Hebden. And he's now up against Keith Arkle. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that game. We have Paul Dargan, who is nut flush against Yichin Han. And
Paul drew with Keith yesterday. Paul drew with Keith, didn't he, yesterday?
Who did?
Paul drew with Keith. Paul Dargan.
Yes, he did. Yes. So Keith was in a rook ending. I think it was a pawn up in a rook ending. So like rook and 2 against rook and 1, but he didn't manage to win on that particular occasion. Okay, and we have Arjun Kalani against Robert Starley. I think they're just starting, aren't they? Jonathan Blackburn-Gunsing against Phil Brooks, Spencer Lawrence against Amir Abbas, Reina Jithendra against Flock Verma, Gerasimos Schiachos against George Gazis, and Stephen Wilson against Grandmaster Mark Hebden, Theo Cowrie against Olga Latipova, Edison Zhu against Ashika Aurora, Prachi Aurora against Shavaz Ali, and Adam Sikovsky against Yonggi Wang.
Okay, it's actually started now. So we've got a 1e4 from Mickey. So not playing the one knight f3 or the 1d4 that he played against Harry Grieve, the Catalan system, and going for 1e4 against Diamond. This is interesting.
That's his more usual stuff, isn't it? 1e4.
Yeah, no, that's his normal. Bishop e3. Well, that's unusual. That's very unusual. So this is so just this Caracan. This is the David Howell Caracan. Also the Korchnoi Caracan as well originally, but Korchnoi played it very successfully in the 1970s, and David Howell picked it up and scored very well with it. He's still scoring very well with it here. But Bishop e3 is a very unusual move. Normally White plays c3, and the plan was Bishop d3, Queen c2, and Knight e2. But here White's playing Bishop e3 and Bishop d3. So it's going to be interesting to see what Mickey's got lined up here. Knight e2. So Mickey's not playing c3. So interesting.
Do you think he's going to go c4 in one go? He might.
He might do. I'm wondering whether he's trying to get in Knight g3 very early somehow. I mean, in the normal lines, Black plays h5 to h4 quite early, and obviously that's because when the White Queen goes to c2. I can probably just better show it actually. Let's show it. So the normal line here is c3, Bishop d6.
Hi, Wilsonia.
Hey, Wilsonia. Queen c2, Rook e8 check, Knight e2, and then h5. This is how it normally goes. And after castles, you go h4 to stop the knight coming to g3, and then afterwards you go knight d7 to f8, and it's quite decent for Black. So here Bishop e3, Bishop d6, Bishop d3. Bishop e3 you play first to protect the pawn on d4. Bishop d6, Bishop d3, castles knight e2, Rook e8, and now it's going to be in.
Oh, sorry. Could White ever go queenside?
Yeah, that's one of the main lines going queenside. But Mickey's gone castles. But yeah, this is very interesting actually, because I mean you play c3 to protect the pawn on d4, so you can go Bishop d3. So well, actually putting the bishop on e3 to defend it is quite sensible. White has the possibility of going c4, and also the possibility of going knight g3. I think this is a very sensible system. So when you see it's sort of thing that when you see played, you think, well, yeah, why didn't I think of that? So yeah, not clear. I mean, Mickey might play c4 and knight c3. That's possible, or he might go knight over to g3. The only thing putting the knight to g3, Black gets g6 and f5, and sort of dominate this this knight. I mean, the idea of this system is that if you go G6, then I do stuff like H4, you know, and I castle queenside. Yeah, that's why this H5 move is so surprising. But somehow, yeah, H5, it stops white from really developing a kingside attack somehow. If you go H3, I go H4, and yeah, somehow breaking open the kingside is quite tough here. So going to be interesting to see what Michael does there, because I mean, he's obviously prepared this. He's played this very fast, so he's obviously got a pretty firm idea of what he wants to do. Let me just have a quick checkaroonie on the theory on here, because I've read a few books on this. There was one by Rombledoni. Oh, actually, yes, of course. Wait a minute. There's one by Rombledoni on with the recommends this line, but I can't remember ever having seen Bishop E3 there actually. So, but there's loads of games. So I'm just out of it really. But who's played this with white? Has anyone? There's nobody. I mean, there's some good players, you know, 2600, etc. But there's no. I'm not seeing any elite.
No one as strong as Mickey.
Yeah. No. Mickey seems to be the strongest there. Let me just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna grab a book I've just received, which also recommends this system, and I'm just going to have a quick look.
What book's that one?
It's this one. Can you see that one?
No. Hold it closer to the camera.
Ah, like that.
Yes.
So
I can see it now.
Yeah. So that's Playing the Caro-Kann by Lars Schandorf. Very good. Very good writer actually. He wrote a book on the semi-Slav, which was excellent actually. So I'm just having a look, seeing how unusual is Mickey's move. I think it's very.
He has gone C4, you know.
Sorry.
He has gone C4.
He's going to go C4 and knight C3, I think. So let's have a look. Bishop B3. This is a slightly odd move. So okay. Yeah, actually, in this book, funnily enough, books can be useful sometimes. Funnily enough, after Bishop B3, Schandorf recommends playing Queen B6, hitting the pawn on B2 straight away. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, well, but you go Queen E2 when Queen B2 allows Bishop C1 check. But apparently, yeah, Schandorf says that Bishop D6 is fine for black, and that the discovered check is not so important. So Bishop F4 check, probably you go King D7. Bishop D6, maybe Rook E8 then, pinning the Queen. Bishop E5 and Queen B2, something like this. Who knows? Who knows? Crazy stuff, but interesting. Oh, and Mickey's gone to G3 all the same. Oh, that's quite surprising. I was expecting.
Yes, you were saying knight C3.
Yeah, that sort of felt natural with the yeah, having played C4 and having waited so long. Yeah, very trendy line, Wilsonia. So yeah, if you play against this one as white, then definitely worth seeing what Mickey's got prepared here, because it's quite unusual. It has to be said. Hey, Pezza. Hey, Pezza. Good to see you.
Hello, how are you doing?
How are things? So yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I mean, I would expect black to go play a move like G6 now, to be honest, and try and play, you know, F5 and hold back this thing. But so it's going to be interesting to see what Mickey's got prepared against G6, because yeah, it's not 100% clear to me, put it that way, what his special idea is. I mean, I don't know whether, yeah, I mean, sorry, let's just go back to there. Would Mickey have something? If I go G6, would there be something sharp, like here, maybe? Here?
Yeah, you could do that from C3 as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, but here with this pawn on C4, you're getting this central breakthrough. I don't know. Yeah. This could be quite interesting. I mean, here you could go here, for example. That's the idea. So and obviously C takes D5, C D5. But I don't know. I mean, there's stuff like, bishop f5 and whatever. I don't know. Going to be interesting to see how far Mickey's prepared this and what he's, what he's really got. But g6 would be the move I'd really expect from black. That would be the most natural move, I think, looking to play f5. So we will see.
Yeah.
It might be that Mickey, some very deep preparation there. Frederick the Mate against Keith Arkle. The queens are off.
Oh, that can't be good for Frederick the Mate, can it? Although he did have the queens off. It was an endgame against Hebs yesterday. So
okay. Yeah, I mean, why? Actually, this is, come to think of it, I'm going past this, but Keith played 2e6 Sicilian. I haven't seen him playing that too often. He didn't play as Caracan or anything. He played a slightly different line. So yeah, bishop e3, c takes d4, knight takes d4. So knight c6. Keith just actually kind of accepted a slightly worse endgame here. And now white played c4, which at first sight feels a little bit strange. Well, it's just in these structures, putting a knight on c4 is very natural, So something like knight d2 to c4 is the first thing that comes into my mind. On the other hand, this pawn c4 move stops the knight getting to d5, so it's definitely worthy of consideration. Bishop e8 and rook a d1. So I suppose Keith's going to try and go knight d7, a5, rook b8. It's probably just fine for black, I think. In general, this doesn't look too bad for black at all. So we're going to see a bit of a challenge there for Frederick the Mate playing.
I guess white would have the advantage if anyone does, just because of a better pawn structure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the important thing is whether white manages to hold back black's queenside play. Black can play a5, rook b8, c5, and then a4, and that sort of thing. And get some stuff moving. And you've got a half open file there. So white's got to try and maintain control of that queenside. I mean, that's just the question how that works. I mean, from that point of view, maybe the move knight a. The move knight a4 was maybe quite interesting because you can't go c5 because of bishop takes a8, and rook b8 fails to bishop a7 when this fork back doesn't.
Yeah.
So and if I go knight a4, then I've maybe got the chance of putting something on c5, which is quite nice. So I mean, but you could go knight d7 with black, and then then we have to think: do we have a good idea here? Because I mean, rook b8 and a5 is coming in, but maybe with a knight on d7, maybe then I can go something like rook d1. Because the idea basically is I've got something to hit now on the d file, something like this. In principle, I don't know. I quite that could be a little bit more awkward for black maybe. But okay, rook a d1 has been played. It's a good general move, and we will see what Keith comes up with there.
I just noticed there's nearly 50 years difference in the ages of these two players.
My goodness me! Oh, good lord! Yeah. Diamonaut. That is a strange.
Diamonaut against Mickey.
Yeah, Diamonaut's played bishop takes g3, giving up the bishop.
Oh!
Do you like my t-shirt, Wilsonia? Yeah, indeed. Designer makes. I think this T-shirt is something like 15 years old or something, but it was definitely trendy when I bought it. Amazing, it still fits actually. Well, it is a bit more stretched, I have to say. Oh dear me. This is a strange decision. Giving up your bishop pair just like that and playing f5. Because this move f5, it's lovely when you've got a knight on g3. It restricts the knight on g3, but playing this and then f5.
Yeah,
I don't like this decision at all, I have to say.
What's he trying for? Knight? Oh no.
I'm not sure. I mean, I just think Queen C2, to be honest, and then Rook D1, and I've got the two bishops. Black's going to have weak dark squares when Black plays G6. But maybe Diamond's got some active idea. Queen F6, Knight G6, F4, something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. My chess sense is saying that this is not good at all for Black. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, is it a silly or obvious question to ask whom the winner of the British Championships will be? Well,
the favorite is the current British champion is Mickey Adams, and he's got to be the favorite for this year as well. Yeah. He's in the lead at the moment, well, equal in the lead with 2.5 out of 3, along with his opponent, Freddie Gordon, the kid, I'm going to say, 11-year-old, Keith Arkle, and Paul Dargan and Yichin Han. They all have 2.5 out of 3. But Mickey's got to be the favourite. With other players having a chance, because you can never be sure, can you, with a field like this? We've got several grandmasters playing and several talented juniors as well.
Because how many rounds is it? It's 7 rounds, isn't it?
It's 9. It's actually 9.
9 rounds. Okay. Yeah, that plays a little bit more into the I would say into Mickey's hands. 7 rounds.
But there's also actually Brandon Clark and Harry Grief, but they don't seem to be playing today. So
okay.
I'm not sure, because Brandon, I don't think was playing yesterday either. So I'm not sure if he's finished or whether he's just indisposed for a bit.
Okay. Well, let's have a look. Next game is Nut Flush. That's Paul Dargan against Yichin Han. So this is the Durl opening.
The whatty?
The Durl opening. It's the delayed deferred exchange Rai Lopez, because after so this would be the this would be the exchange Rai Lopez.
Yes.
Then so you go Bishop A4, and then this would be the delayed exchange Rai Lopez.
Yes.
And this is the delayed deferred exchange Rai Lopez. So the Durl.
Double delay.
So what's the idea of it? It's not so silly. The point is that after Bishop C6, DC6, a common idea for Black is to play F6. So what you do is, well, when you put the knight on F6, you can't go F6 anymore. So you're saying that's better. And actually, another idea for Black, if you do this, could be to play the bishop to D6 or to C5 even. But here Black's played Bishop E7, and then you take. And what you're claiming is that Black's Bishop E7, Knight F6, it's slightly misplaced the Black pieces. So it's going to be.
You can't defend that E pawn so easily, can you?
No, exactly. You might play Knight D7, but what they normally do, I thought, was to play a move like D3, which really attacks the E pawn, but. Paul played Queen E1, and now Yichin has played Bishop E6, which, Knight E5, there's Queen E4. So what that means is that if you go something like D3 now, I can play Knight D7, and I'm quite nicely organized, really, if you see what I mean, because the bishops come out and the knights come round. I suppose I'm sorry, I'm thinking as I talk, really, but I think maybe what you do is Knight C3. No, it doesn't work. The idea might be to meet Knight D7 with D4 in one go, and claim. But then you've got Bishop C4, which is rather irritating here, probably. So and also slightly embarrassing as well. So I mean, maybe White can play B3. I don't know. It's a little bit. I think this is inaccurate, really, from Paul, but I might be completely utterly wrong. Okay, B3 is maybe a refinement of my idea, because if you go Knight D7 now.
Hi, well fan. We've got some Freddie the Mate fans in the crowd here.
Then I can go D4. Aha, right. Then I can go D4 there, and that's quite decent. So who knows? Yeah, I might be. I think I'm gradually remembering my my lines as we go along.
It's really, it's not just one GM he's beaten, is it? It's two. He already beat, if I'm remembering right, I think he already beat Bogdan a few months ago, and then beat Hebs, and now he's playing Keith. So he's got a lot of big names under his belt.
Oh, so this is Drunken Night. So Chris Duncan against Jonathan Mackay.
Oh, we had Dawn with one as well, says Wolfan.
We had the Jonathan Mackay's dad, didn't we? On the, or you had him on the stream yesterday.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, indeed. Another young Scottish player.
So Chris against Brandon Clark. Chris took on E5, you know, and played it tight at the back, swapping off queens, and got a good draw against Brandon. Here he's playing a bit more aggressively, playing Bishop E3. Although this is supposed to be a not very good line in actual fact. Because after Bishop E3, you're supposed to be able to go Rook E8. And after D5, you've got Knight D4. That's the big idea. Takes, Bishop takes, Knight E4, takes, with complete equality. You know, it's Queen D4 check. We've got Queen F6. So I'm a bit confused about that one. Unless maybe he was aiming to take on E5. Was this his idea? That might have been the idea, just to take on E5 like that. Oh, but this is, isn't this... I think this is an old Larsen game, actually, here. I think I remember this from the good old days. So, you know, the idea is that you want to get this fork, basically. I think I've seen this. But okay, not quite clear. But I think probably after, but black goes Knight G4, H4, G5, and Knight H6. I think this is quite well known as well. Black sort of threatening G4 here, so white takes on E5. And you got the choice. You could take with the D pawn. Taking with the F pawn feels more natural, but white's got this C5 break against the center, so it's, you know, quite dangerous. Knight D5, Knight F7, H4 from Chris. My goodness, that's quite aggressive, this one. And black's not giving in easily. Black's fighting with Bishop G4 there, so quite a sharp little game there.
Yeah. So what if white then takes on G5?
How do you want to take it? Actually, do you want to take with the
pawn? With the pawn.
With the peon. I have got. What can I do here? I've got various things, I suppose. I guess. Well, actually, maybe I should take on. This is just a little bit more forcing, and maybe it's because then because if you go H takes G, I could bail out with here and here.
Yeah.
And then go Knight D4. Whereas if I go Knight takes G5, then yeah, I mean you take on here. I take, and then takes, and then if Queen G5, I've got Knight C7 here.
Yes.
Which is obviously not particularly.
Yeah, because then you've got E6, Knight to E6 to follow.
Yeah, I can go Knight D4 cunningly. To protect E6 and attack E2, but in principle it's a pawn and then a square on D5. So, although, yeah, this is quite...
white can defend with like Queen D3.
Yeah, then I'll go. Let's say Rook C8,
and then if we want to, can't we just drop back with Knight B5?
Yeah, Knight B5 might be, because I was looking at Knight D5, H5 actually, which was quite. I mean, I'm threatening H4 and then I've got a Rook F3 and stuff. You know, that felt, but it could well be. I think you're probably right that Knight B5 is the safe option because we're threatening Knight D4 and Bishop D6.
Yeah,
that looks very strong for white, I have to say. So let's just have a look at Knight G5 then. I mean, we have to take on E2, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make much. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think you're having to play these exchanges. I mean, you've got to take on G5. I mean, you can't just let white play Queen G4 and get this. So I think you've got to do this. But then we really want to.
So maybe H5 straight away for black and give up the piece.
Well, that's pretty bold, I suppose.
Don't suppose it'll work.
Yeah, the problem is, I think you just come back and, you know, if that bishop has to move, it's fine. But I think if you're doing this, it's just not.
Oh yeah.
It's not quite.
Yeah, because it was a whole rook, wasn't it, in the corner there?
It's a whole rook in the corner. So I could go rook d8, which, you know, maybe holds this a bit better. But still, I like your move, knight b5. You know, and yeah, I don't know. It feels like black's in a bit of trouble to me.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what you're doing there. I mean, well, yeah, but I don't think this is very good. I was looking at takes, and then knight d4, queen g4. I mean, I can go c6 to chase away the knight, but I mean, I've even got knight f6 check here. You know, just to, you know, so yeah, I think that's just a mistake. I think bishop g4 is actually a mistake there. Looks like quite a serious mistake, I think. So, but we'll see. We'll see what maybe black's got something cunning up his sleeve there. But Chris has played knight takes g5, so we're going to see the proof of the pudding soon. So I've got pudding in my head. I had a sticky toffee pudding at the weekend. So. And the reason I'm thinking of it is that sticky toffee pudding was Mark Hebden's favourite. So
that's true.
He always had it at the Guildford meals when we played 4NCL. It was just like a forced move to have the sticky.
And he wanted it with, was it ice cream rather than cream? Yes.
I have to say, I had one of the biggest portions I've ever had. Oh, amazing! Absolutely amazing. But it's so what is this? This is a Marshall. Let's have a look how that went. Castles, bishop e7. In a way, I'm slightly surprised that Mark's playing the Marshall, because there is an awful lot of theory, but you know, it is quite possible to prepare this, you know, very, very carefully. And there are many lines that lead to a draw. So, you know, it's maybe slightly surprised about that. But okay, I mean, Mark knows it very well. He's got a lot of ideas. So, yeah, if he's confident that...
maybe he did want custard. Sorry, the sticky toffee pudding conversation.
Indeed.
If it was custard, in fact, you may be right. It definitely wasn't cream. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Marshall.
Yeah, this is... who was it? I think it was Guitar Man who said he was waiting for the next installment of Dine Like a Grandmaster. You know, there's Think Like a Grandmaster, Train Like a Grandmaster, and then there's
Dine Like a Grandmaster. Very good.
So yeah, so G5. Oh, let's have a look at that. Rook E4. So bishop takes G5. We've got the old Queen F5 trick, which wins a whole piece of Rooney. So Queen F1. I'm trying to think whether is this the right move order. It's all very confusing. This I think probably is Queen F1. I'm thinking that Knight D2 is always played first somehow, but maybe Queen F1. You can swap off the queens in these positions, but Queen H6 is very unusual here, isn't it? You always go back to H5, don't you? So yeah, I mean, Mark's got a lot of ideas in these lines. So
because White could go Rook H4.
Well, yeah.
At some point. Oh, so yeah. if Black went Bishop H3 or something like. Oh, I'm trying to make it all work. It wouldn't work like that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Yeah, the thing is, if you went H4 to try and exploit the pin, you could go Queen G6. You see, and you can get out of there.
Yeah.
The Matthew Sadler flag. Yeah, I don't know. I might do it sometime. It's just it all yeah. Somehow I've got to get my head around playing again, really, and somehow commentating is so much more relaxed, really, you know. But I'm definitely gonna play sometime next year. I'll try and play something. So, but I'd love to play more over the board, to be honest. Online, I find playing not always so keen on that. A little bit is fine, but somehow I prefer to play over the board, really. But we'll see.
Maybe you'd prefer a blitz or a rapid or something like that.
Yeah. Thing is, my attention span for online chess is quite low. I do find after about half an hour, I say, "Oh, okay, that's fine. Let's go and do something else then." And somehow that's not that's not quite enough, really. It's just being in front of the computer. I'm sort of expecting things to go quickly and to go fast. It's we'll see. Someday I'll play a little bit more because I would like to do it. Really would like to. So rook e1 was played. That's queen g6, knight d2. This is quite unusual from Mark. But I think this is one of Mark really he's a big expert on the marshals. So he must have loads and loads of little ideas just to keep the play. And here he's a pawn down, but plenty of compensation here. Bishop d2, king h8. And there's all sorts of stuff, bishop e4 and who knows, h5, h4 and all this sort of stuff, and not always easy for white to get free there. So yeah, going to be quite interesting to see what Mark makes of this. I'm sure this is one of his homegrown systems for avoiding the draw. I think bishop b4 in any case is starting to get rather a threat now. So yeah, white's going to have to be careful about that one. Yeah, actually, it is it's actually quite a threat, really. So yeah, something like bishop e4 and queen f5. So interesting play from Mark there. Let's have a look. Should I be trying to follow someone else, Natasha?
Yes. Let me see. So have we didn't see Bogdan yet.
Oh, that's right. I thought I definitely did a follow of B unit. Ah, there we are. B unit against. Oh, okay. So this is quite similar to what Chris Duncan has done. So another King's Indian, but this time knight a6 from Black. I used to play this line. It was really to avoid the if you go e5, then white can go d takes e5, and I never really fancied sitting through that boredom. So you play e5 now, and then if these d takes e5 lines are quite decent for black. The knight's coming into c5 later. So bishop e3, knight g4, bishop e5, queen 8. I actually had this with black against Bogdan at the Islington Chess Congress in 1994.
How do you even remember that?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's you just do, really. It's so rook e1. Yeah, I mean Bogdan ended up taking on e5, and I probably was a little bit better with black, but we drew there. So rook e1, e takes d4, knight d5. Ah, Bogdan's playing it quite sharply here. So not taking back the pawn on d4 straight away. I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I think that if we take on... oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. If we take on d4, there's probably... well, I'm not even sure. I mean, there's definitely a trick. This is definitely a possible trick, but I'm not sure that this is working, actually, because your knight can't get out. So maybe if you just go for knight d3, then... I'm not 100% sure.
That'd be embarrassing.
Yes. Was it this idea? I think it was queen e5, maybe hitting h2 and d4. Yes. It's bishop d4, queen d4, and if knight f3, queen c5, and f2 is a bit sensitive. I think that's the one. Again, this is for me a little bit lost in the mists of time, but I analysed this quite a bit at the time. But so knight d5, threatening bishop e7. I do believe that there are all sorts of exchange sacrifices possible here, but black plays f6. Bishop f4, knight e5, knight d4, and this has worked out quite well for white. If black's played f6, the bishop's a little bit passive behind, and and after f6, Bogdan, this is very ambitious from Bogdan, playing knight e3. So after f5, you're going to take, and black's going to end up with an isolated pawn on f5. But yeah, these pieces are slightly unnatural. In particular, this bishop on f4 is a little bit worrisome. So, but very ambitious from Bogdan. Knight c5, a5, very natural play from Black. King h1, and yeah, we're going to see. I'm not sure. I mean, probably Bogdan, I would have thought, would play go for something like Queen c2, Rook d1, or Queen d2, Rook d1, just to line up on the pawn. And yeah, and Black's got to decide at some stage whether he can play f5. I mean, that's going to be where the counterplay is coming from. So,
well, it's nice to see Bogdan playing like this, because he won his first, and then he's had a couple of draws. So I guess he's really looking to get back and win a game this time.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, this is these sort of D4 systems. You know, this is his stuff. You know, and knows his theory very well. So yeah, I mean, he should be able to build up a good advantage and really, you know, give Black a lot of problems there. So yeah, it should be interesting. It's a good, ambitious game anyway. So all good stuff here. And Black's thinking now about where to put the pieces. Let's have a look. Have we got anyone else that we should be?
Tactic Monster. Did we
oh,
see?
You're right, actually, I followed him, but let me just grab that one because you put that in there. Tactics Monster 12, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Magnus swapped on f1. It is that's in the Headland game. That is quite that's a well-known line actually. Swapping on f1, and I find it hard to believe that Black's really got enough compensation in the ending, but it's been worked out, you know, for I mean up till you know, any sort of level really. So it is apparently just fine there. Tactic Monster 12. Unable to follow Tactic Monster.
Is it Tactics Monster? Let me just check the spelling.
Let's have a look. No, it's Tactic Monster
12. Okay, his opponent is
Robert Starley.
Ferrari
fan 27. Let's try that. Because I think sometimes you're not allowed to follow juniors, so which is fine, but yeah, just a little bit annoying, obviously, from our point of view. Let's have a look. So we've got an Italian game with c3. Oh, okay, and then Black just played d6, which is you know, quite a solid but not very ambitious line. So White just takes the center there. Knight f6, d5. So if the knight moves away, we'll have Queen a4 check, picking up a piece. So takes, knight e7 was played. Bishop d3, castles, knight g6 and h3. So oh, thanks very much, Fan.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, White's got the two bishops. Yeah, just a little bit better, good center. But Black's doing all right. Black is just going to play around the dark squares there. So bishop e3, queen e7, queen c2, knight d5 takes. Knight takes e5, bishop e2. So and White playing very straightforwardly here. Actually, this is very nice play from White, I have to say. Just not doing anything complicated at all, but just setting up a very nice big center here. So b6 has been played by Black, and yeah, now Black's got to decide what he wants to do. I mean, always got to think whether you want to throw in an a4 or something. That's possible, you know. But after a4, a5, it's always a little bit dubious, really. You know, has that helped me or has that helped Black? You know, I've weakened the pawn chain here. I've weakened this pawn chain here, so you know, you can't play c6, for example. But on the other hand, I've got an a4 pawn to defend. Probably, I think I'd probably just for now, I'd probably think about waiting and just play a move like g4, and then look for king g3, h4, h5. Just try and squash Black on the king side here, you know. And yeah, I like
nice,
White.
isn't it, for White?
Yeah, this is really nice for White. Yeah, I'd yeah, I think yeah, I think Tactic Monster. This is, yeah, he's played it. Tactic Monster's good. He's a good position player. Tactic Monster. Strangely enough, with his name, maybe it's a double bluff or something. But yeah, he's a good, sensible, solid player. So yeah, I think Black's going to be in some difficulties here. Doesn't really have. I mean, I'm wondering whether black really does need to play, c6 and try and create some counterplay. But I mean, c6, you go c4 simply, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, any opening up of the position, it's not going to be bad for the two bishops. So yeah, I think black's in quite a bit of trouble here. In actual fact, this is but very sensible play from white. I like seeing juniors play like this. Just good center, not afraid of swapping the queens, and and then just gaining space. It's very sensible.
Talking juniors, shall we check back in on Freddie the mate?
Ooh, okay. Ooh, Freddie the mate. Freddie the mate is doing very well here. So let's have a look how that went. So it was rook ad1, knight d7. Oh, and then just this very simple plan of knight e4. Why not, indeed? Heading for d6. So knight e5, bishop e2, c5, and then knight d6. So Keith has to give up the bishop pair there. And yeah, a very careful move, not playing b3, because that would give black a4, just playing rook 1 d2. Yeah, this is quite interesting, actually. I mean, white's got a number. Oh, okay, a4.
Well, Keith's into moving his rook's pawns at the moment. We saw a game where he moved his h pawn right up the board. Actually, I think he might move his h pawn again today. I wonder. But anyway, he's doing his a pawn today.
All right. Yeah, this is very interesting. This one. Question is whether this pawn a4, very good positional move. Stops b3, so black's going to look for rook b4 and attack c4. So I think really you feel like the moment has come to do something about this this knight on e5. And you could either look at playing bishop f4, or you could look at playing f4. Those would be the two moves that I'd think of now. Just because. Otherwise, rook b4 is coming in. Well, it's not. I mean, you could wait. You could just play rook c2 and defend stuff. I mean, that is possible. But yeah. Your
screen's showing Leela 0. Yeah. Okay.
So, oh, sorry. I was. Okay. So after bishop f4. Maybe black can play knight c6 here. So it looks like there should be a discovered attack somewhere, but I don't actually see a discovered attack. A good one, really. No, I don't think so. So maybe we should play f4. I mean, knight d7 now probably allows bishop c5.
Yeah.
There's always tactics like knight a5, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. Somehow you're always surprised if that works. Well, you might have to have a look at it, but okay, that's something else. I mean, I'm assuming knight d7 allows rook d7. Although, yeah, even this you could argue maybe there's some sort of chances for black here because you're taking the pawn on a2, but in general, two bishops are normally too strong. So after f4, I mean, knight g6 would be the first move you'd think of. And now the question is, does white have anything clever here? And black's going to go knight e7 maybe and look for knight f5. So I mean, you could just go again. You could do like in Aryan Kalani's game, actually. That you just say, I'm going to go g4, take away this f5 square from the knight, and just really gain a lot of space. Could be quite difficult for black. You go king f2, g3. You've got to watch out because if you try and double up on the d file, you've got stuff like rook d8 then, which comes in very quickly. So yeah, I mean maybe after f4. Knight c6 would be an option. Bishop takes c5 and then knight a5, hitting the bishop and also looking for knight c4.
Yeah.
So I mean, bishop a7 is natural.
Yeah. If rook b7, do we have a rook d8?
We have a rook d8. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely right. But the reason I was getting a bit confused was, do we have a rook a8 here? It doesn't feel like you should have it, but I'm just wondering whether you do.
Just go bishop b6.
Yeah, and then I go knight c4.
Oh, and then takes rook t8.
Rook c8 then, and I'll hold it all together. So I'm just wondering why. Yeah, it's one of those things you say. This, why would this be true? White hasn't deserved this. But what you could try maybe is to go rook b6. Would that be clever? It's all getting quite tactical. I mean, the idea would be that after here takes, yeah, but even that's not very. I mean, I go king f8 really, so I don't know whether I don't think I'm actually getting anywhere there. I've got b3 or stuff, but I'm not. Oh, I don't know. I feel I'm missing something obvious. Natasha. I really feel I'm missing something obvious, but I'm not. Obviously, I'm not.
I don't see it.
I'm not. You're my tactical conscience, Natasha. What am I missing here?
I don't see it.
No, this looks okay for black. Of course, it's in terms of playing for the win, it's not particularly, or keeping the position alive. It's not.
What about this might just be rubbish. So, bishop f3 at the end.
Okay, so let's have a look. That was rook a8. You were in this position, bishop f3. Yeah, I think we'll grab this one then, because I'm actually covering c6 now with the knight. So
yeah,
I think that sort of works. Oh, I don't know. e4. Really? Feels all wrong, but looks fine for black here somehow. So yeah, that might be, but that would only, obviously that's still only maximum a draw, or or bishop a7, rook a8, rook a6. Oh, I don't know, knight c6 then. I mean, it's all getting a bit silly. So yeah, I mean, if you can go knight c6, of course you don't have to take on c5. I could maybe this is just sensible, because I mean, what are you going to do with black actually? Not so clear. Are you going to go knight a5? But then I can hit you with rook a6. So maybe what I should just do is, just carry on with my plan generally. Maybe go g4 or king f2. I'm not sure which, and just wait. And just say, okay.
So Freddie didn't go down this line anyway.
Okay, sorry. You went h3. That's solid. So yeah, I mean, I think if we go rook b4, then we're going to go rook d8. I mean, that's the idea. Whoops. So if we go rook b4 now, we'll go rook d8, and probably that's actually just fine for yeah, that's good for white actually. So. Well, actually, come to think of it, maybe a waiting move like this is very solid. I would have liked to have just start bringing my king in, because I'm not 100% sure what h3 is doing in general. I'd like maybe to, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely not ruining anything. I would say, because it's not actually. In some ways, it's not too clear what black is going to do next. If rook b4. Rook d8 is good. So hey, Ocelot. And of course, if you go king f8, then we can go something like f4, and then we've got discovered checks then. So that's kind of making the difference there. So yeah. So what if I go knight c4?
Oscar the Great is livening up.
Oh, okay. We'll have a look at that. I'm just wondering, actually, maybe I could just go knight c6 anyway, and
hi, Ocelot.
Then play this trick. Who knows? Interesting. I think Keith's going to have some serious thinking to do, though. Oh, good lord. Okay. Oh, this is going to be fun, actually. So queen e1 was played, bishop e6, b3. Whoa, and bishop g4. So, yeah, very interesting. So that's really putting the cat amongst the pigeons there.
Yeah.
So knight e5 was played, queen d4, and now knight c4 from white. I mean, do you remember seeing Peter Chaplin during one of the?
I remember Peter Chaplin's tricks with 1b3.
Yeah, and there was this
sacrifices in the opening. And
it was
then,
something like this, and then you're playing knight c4 to trap. I mean, here it doesn't work. There's queen a3, but it reminds me of that a little bit because Nutflush went knight c4 with the idea of queen b2 and knight c3.
Oh, very good.
So, so Peshka went. Did Peshka miss this? I wonder. I'm not sure. He went bishop e6. It just feels rather weird, you know, what white is what black is doing here. To go bishop e6, then bishop g4, then bishop e6 again.
Yeah.
But white went bishop e2, queen e4. I guess, yeah. I mean, I think if he'd gone knight c3, then bishop c4 would have been played, which was probably quite decent. So this is probably the most ambitious. Choppy, and bishop g7. And we're going to have rook g8, and then, oh, wait a minute. I suppose we're going to go bishop e5 then. We probably have to, don't we? Because if we go back all the way to b2, then we'll just have bishop h3. So bishop e5, I think, will be played to meet bishop h3 with bishop g3.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's have a look. What do we have here? I mean, black does have some counterplay here, but I suppose the question is, as always, is it enough? Well, I don't know. If we just go castles, that feels like a decent move to me. I'm just thinking. Sorry, I mean, I suppose after bishop b2, bishop h3, we could also go knight e3 as well. It feels
loose, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you start thinking of of these ideas really. Like this, just, where I don't know. Probably is it just rubbish? I'm not actually. I'm not sure it is rubbish completely. It's probably just a draw somehow. Takes there, here, and then you check.
Yeah.
You probably can't mate here. You are a bit light on pieces, but so that could be possible. But knight e3 feels very.
Lots of tactics, Pezza.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's quite fun. But so bishop e5, would be my sort of natural assumption, really, and say, well, you'll probably need to do this. But I go castles, and then we need to find a. I mean, I think d3 looks really like the most natural. I mean, you put this pawn protected, and you're trying to drive this knight away from e4. And now this is where it gets a bit crucial, because I could. Oh, they've agreed a draw.
Oh. After all that, it's not a dead draw, is it?
No.
There's plenty of play left in that one.
Oh, I'm really surprised about. Yeah. Oh well, yeah, it's all possible, but I am surprised about that because I mean, there's plenty of danger in there.
It's a good question, Ocelot, whether the G pawn is worth the open file.
Yeah,
but we'll never know, will we? We'll never
really know, because I suppose we're going to stop analysing this now. But there's Nutflush there. Sorry, it's that one. But yeah, I don't know. Castles d3. I was just sort of starting to get excited about these sort of ideas. Just to or knight g3 first, and then maybe fg. I don't know. I mean, you've always got the two bishops. You've always got the two bishops, and I don't know. I don't know. It still feels like an unclear position. It feels like White's got actually some decisions to make after rook g8, bishop b5, bishop b2. So a little bit surprised. I have to say, but I'm sure there's all good reasons for doing that. So okay, let's have a look. Okay, we saw this one, Jonathan Mackay here with black.
Yes.
He didn't. He played bishop e6, then bishop g4 came in, and queen g4 again. And yeah, black isn't daring to take this g5 pawn because of knight takes c7. So I'm just give me 1 second. Not that I. Well, I'm wondering actually. Oh, would we go bishop h4? Can I go h6? I'm just wondering here because so bishop g4, knight d4 is played, takes, queen g4, and I'm just wondering what was exactly wrong with knight g5. I mean, it's not a great structure. I mean, that is absolutely clear. But I'm just wondering because sorry. The point is, I was thinking we could take here, and then we're not losing a pawn at least.
I suppose white could put the rook on the c file and then try and bring it right in.
But I suppose I just come here really, and then go queen g6 after. It doesn't look as bad as all that actually. That's why. And I could play bishop h4, h6, and or I could play the knight round to e3, for example, and come into f5. I mean, that's really nice for white. I'm wondering whether it was, yeah. But black's gone knight d4 anyway, and now rook fd1 is a slightly strange move. Why would you go rook fd1? I just feel like going. I just feel like going. Yeah, I just feel like going rook ad1 and f4. Really, that's what I feel like doing. Really, So rook fd1 feels a little bit. I understand maybe going rook c1 and c5, but. I mean, black can easily stop that, so I'm not 100% sure about rook fd1. But okay, I think white is clearly better here. Pawn up certainly. Oh, Hebs is sort of motoring here. So h8, white took on d5, rook e3. Because I mean, this knight on e4 was a little bit, but now he's played f5, and if f3, we will go f4. I think that's. This is looking very dangerous for white now.
Yeah.
So now I've
lining up against the king.
Yeah, I've seen Hebs win in these sort of marshals before, and it's quite. He's playing very fast as well. So I think he's. Marx looks a bit in his element today. He's got his nice attacking play here. So I think it's very difficult for white. I think white's really going to have big problems holding this. So, okay, that's interesting. Okay, tough positional struggle ahead. A4 was played by black just to restrain the queen side there. Queen e7, rook d8, bishop g3. So just getting the bishop out of the way and looking at f4 and bishop d7. So black's going to play probably quite a good regrouping, bishop e8 to f7. I mean, black's not going to have f5 then by default. That's not going to happen anymore. But maybe aiming towards the queen side here. b2, c3, Sicilian. Bottled it today. Oh. Well, you can watch the stream, b22 c3 Sicilian then. So and that's not bad either. He swerved your b22 prep, the fiend. How could he do that? So
b2, are you normally playing in a tournament, b22?
He avoided the c3 Sicilian, I guess.
Oh no.
So
oh, it's Paul. Of course it is. Okay, nut flush. Now we know. Very good.
But I've heard a rumor that that you used to squirt Natasha with a water pistol when she suggested wrong moves in analysis.
It's when I played them in a match.
It's
that was the Lloyds Bank Masters like many years ago.
It was Neil Peters, Graham Burgess, yeah. It's
not as long ago as that. I think it was 1992 or some kind of time.
That would be child cruelty if it was 1985. I think No, it was still a very unclear position, Paul. But yeah, no, it was. I think probably, yeah, it was a very unclear position there. So we were expecting, we were expecting fireworks from there. But well played. Good set of results there. He's a very strong player, and then drawing with Keith in that long rook ending yesterday, going nicely. Tactic Monster against Ferrari Fan 27. So White's Black's actually done quite decently to get himself organised. You know, the bishop and the knight are now on sort of normal squares, but it's cost Black a lot of time, and still not making much impression against the white centre here. So I mean, if you're looking for simple moves, rook e2, rook e1 followed by e5 would be extremely simple, you know, and actually I don't even know how you're stopping that plan, you know. So looking very strong for white here. The only thing is, Arjun is I have noticed that about him. He takes a lot of time, so you know, time pressure might play a role, but but looking quite good for white there.
We could have a look at Dionysian 2020.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Dionysian 2020.
Is that good? Yeah.
It's one of these Sicilians again that everyone's playing with the bishop b5 check.
Oh, yeah. The bane of my life when I was professional, and it's still going on. So queen e2, queen c7, takes. a6, c4, rook c8, b3. The number of move orders I tried against this line. But this is actually quite a nice attacking structure for white. You know, Maroczy bind type structure. And then you're just playing your rook over to f3 and h3. So yeah, why not? Why not? So Black's got to try and find something here. I mean, you know, possible ideas are e5, for example. That was played in a game of Mickey's against, or Mickey was Black against Plaskett, and there's a famous game where he played e5. Hey, Sean the Prawn.
Hello.
I don't know whether it's good here, but I always think of that game when I see the structure. b5 would also be an obvious thing for. You're looking more like yourself this evening, Matthew. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I had. I was looking a bit old yesterday, wasn't I? Whereas now, I think John is older than me.
You've got to watch yourself.
John is a bit older than me, I think, isn't he?
He is, but he doesn't look older than you.
Oh, dear me. Dear me. So,
that's thrown you off your scent.
Yeah, it certainly has. No, it made me think of, I gave a simul a long time ago, and you know, I was like a queen up or something, and my opponent was about 11 or 12 years old, and offered a draw. And I said to her, you know, jokingly, I said, "My goodness, no respect for grandmasters." And she looked at me very seriously and said, "You have to earn that respect."
Very good, quite right.
Yes, I really. Whoa, that was a great reply. So I always remembered that. It just always stuck in my mind. So bishop 8, very sensible move from Black. It takes a bit of nerves, these Black positions. You know, in principle you're solid and mated, but you have to believe that and break at the right time. So could be quite a thrilling one. More difficult Black to play than white, I think, this one. But I mean, you could things like b5, e5, and then rook c2 coming in. You know, it's all sorts of stuff. Should we go back to Mickey? See what Mickey's doing?
Let's do it. Yes.
So f5. I wasn't happy with idea really. So Mickey's just doing his stuff, really, isn't he? He's just playing very solidly. I'd imagine he's going to start expanding on the queen side, maybe. I'd definitely try and go a4, a5 here, you know. And Freddie's game has got very interesting.
Okay.
Okay. So Freddie went bishop f4, takes. bishop g4. This is quite pleasant, which is quite an understatement, actually. This is really pleasant for white.
How did these double pawns come?
Yeah, so Keith had to find a plan here. I was thinking knight c6, maybe. He went rook b7, and then he got hit with rook d8. And then I guess he didn't want to play rook b8 here, so he went rook bc7. But then white played bishop f4.
Oh, yeah, I see now.
So f6, choppy, and then bishop g4. And I think, isn't black losing a pawn by force here? I suspect he is.
So what would you do to stop? You'd go takes, rook e7 to stop.
Yeah, but then I'm going rook c8 after. I mean, if I do this, then oops, sorry. So
hi, Sergeant.
Hey, Sanjit. So if we chop and go rook c7, I just go rook c8 and
it is a pawn. Golly. So Freddie's
yeah, yeah, and I mean you could go king f7, you know, that's possible.
Yeah.
But then I just chop and I go rook d6.
And you can't defend it.
Well, no, because here I go bishop b6.
And then take on c6.
Yeah, and then take on c6. I guess bishop g8 or something, and then probably go f3. Question is, you know, is this winning? Not 100% sure, but obviously any of the chances of the going are whites. So you know.
Golly, so, Freddie.
Very nice play. Very nice play. And I mean, you know, what's white threatening apart from bishop e6? I mean, just a simple move, rook e2, taking the pawn on e5 is going to get awesomely strong here. You know, yeah, black's got to be, yeah, Keith's going to need all of his endgame skill here and resourcefulness to make this one, because yeah, I mean, maybe we could look at going king f7. Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe rook d6, I could go rook b8 here, and then I'm taking on b2. That might be decent. But what I could maybe do here is to go rook e2.
Okay, rook b8.
Well, rook b8, now I'm going rook e5. I thought I was maybe taking more of your pawns, but you could be right, the rook b2, and here, well, at least it's going to be counterplay, isn't it? I could go bishop e6 and f4. Yeah, you might have. I think Keith will go rook b8 here.
Yes.
Rook e6, rook e5. Well, maybe this is. Problem is, if here I can go h5, is that possible?
You can go rook e8. Oh no, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Because bishop f5, I go bishop d7, rook e5, king f6. That's the one.
Okay.
So there's quite a few little traps on there. I think that black's. This is maybe not such a silly idea from black, or which is another way of saying maybe Keith has just this quite well. That
he's fine.
You're getting horrible pawns, but you are getting counterplay. But yeah, I mean, this is great fight.
Before you go, well, what's the current position?
Oh, current position is bishop g4.
Bishop g4.
Yeah, I mean, it's tempting to throw in this check in between, but then I do this one, I thought.
Yeah.
And then I go rook b8. Ah.
Okay.
That's more annoying. You got to say. That is more annoying. I was just thinking rook a8, rook b7, and you know, it's just the same. But this is more annoying. Oh, okay. So I can go bishop b6. Oh, yeah. So rook d8, I can go bishop b6 check, because bishop f7, there's rook d8 checkmate.
Yeah.
f8, rook f8. Now, if I go rook b7, I've got bishop d5, which is annoying. This is the big difference. And then here I've got bishop c6.
Winning the bishop.
Yeah. So you go king e7, which is a fork, but then you go rook b8, and you're stopping the rook from coming to b7.
Nice move. Hard to see, though. He'll be doing well to see it.
Yeah. Well, you just need to if you spot Black's idea of going to rook to the B file, then you'll and you've got the time and the you can sit on your hands. Then you know you'll probably see it because I mean often I think often good moves are driven by seeing you know the result of bad ones basically, and then you know that sort of oh I need to do that. You know it's should never be ashamed of finding your good moves because you looked at bad ones first. You know that's the one of the big lessons that I learned from about chess. That it's not a question of thinking of good moves just like that. It's often a question of puzzling out the situation by just having more data, and that includes bad ideas. But this is quite this is not going to be an easy technical task, but it's a pawn, absolutely. And here, I mean, Black has to decide. I mean, maybe something like Bishop C6. I'm not sure whether the rook ending is. I don't think the rook ending is what you want to play here because you've got so many weak pawns. I mean, I think I come around here and I sort of hang on to. I mean, the question is whether you know Black could play really actively and get his king in there, King F1 there.
Well, we know, we all know Keith's reputation in rook and pawn ending, so
yeah. Tricky. I mean,
he's a very strong rook and pawn ending player.
You know, you could do something like this would be fine again for Black. So I don't know. I actually think that what Keith's done here is not silly at all. I think you're getting activity, you know, and he's put the the preconditions in place by having the pawn in A4. But I mean, you know, this is not simple by any means. But it could be that you can say, or even could I maybe go King F5 here? Again, wanting to play a quick rook B7. Going to be an interesting one, but you know, it's going to require some good endgame skill from Keith here to hold this, I think. And Keith's thinking here. I'm betting on rook D8, I think, but yeah, who knows?
Okay, Heb's game is looking nice again.
Heb's in there. Opposite color bishops with an attack. This is more or less over, I think. Rook E1, rook takes F3, and carnage basically. So looking good for Hebs.
Looking good for Hebs.
Nice, yeah, nice to see. I like been a very good colleague, very popular grandmaster. Always, yeah, always great fun to talk to. So yeah, good to see him playing well as well. B unit against Unagi 5. Yeah, Unagi 5's gone for a very solid method of defense. So Bogdan's this is gonna be a long one for Bogdan. I think he's gonna you know have to reel this one in square by square. You know, I think, but White is just simply slightly better. I mean, this whole structure configuration with the knights and the pawns is holding back all Black's breaks, B5, D5, and F5. So Black hasn't got the breaks, but Black's curled up on the bottom 3 ranks. This knight is super for defending this pawn. And yeah, you're going to have to, yeah, you're just really going to have to find a way to start, you know, creeping forwards with White.
Let's see, whimsical jam.
Ooh, follow. Whimsical jam. It's all one word, isn't it? Whimsical jam.
It's all one word. Yeah.
Slow sloth. That's a junior as well, isn't it? Yes.
Yes. Olga Latipova.
All right. Well, it's going well for Whimsical Jam because he is a piece up. And although that knight
yes, although he's the knight, it is getting out. Of course, you can just go
getting out to C6 there. So I think this is going to be. Looks like it's well, it's looking odds on for a Whimsical Jam win there. So
another Sicilian with a Maroczy bind. This one.
Indeed, we're getting a lot of Maroczy binds, aren't we, at the moment?
Yeah, we are. We are.
So that's looking pretty good. Let's have a look at Tactic Monster against Ferrari Fan. Yeah, I mean, rook h2 played. So white sort of lining up. I would have just gone for rook e2 and e5. That would have been my tip for a really simple plan, I think. But okay. White is quite entitled to play around a little bit and see whether black gives him something for nothing. Basically, that's always a possibility as well. That by manoeuvring quietly, you you might just get a mistake from the opponent, which makes life a lot easier for you. That's again one of those important lessons that you learn. Drunken Knight against Dandy-tastic. So rook d2, queen c8. So black going for the exchange of queens. Yeah, white's going to line up on the d file. Yeah, white's better here. I mean, you can't say much more than that. But I said I would have preferred. I would have gone for a bit more. Maybe try to go a bit more oomphy with white, I think. But yeah, obviously white is definitely better here with an extra pawn. Keith still thinking about his move. Mickey thinking what to do against Diamond here. Bishop f3, knight e7. Yeah, I would go a4 simply, I have to say. That would be my queen b4. Yeah, Mickey's playing some annoying moves here with with his queen. Just yeah, looking at the dark squares. Maybe he's got an idea of bishop g5. Maybe d5 will be dangerous. A little bit awkward. It's probably going to burn a bit of Diamond time there. Because yeah, it's always a lot to worry about, really. When you start looking at breakthroughs all the time. So. And you're sort of saying, go on, play a5 and weaken your dark squares. That's also what you're sort of asking the question, with black. Do you have that self-control, or are you getting nervous about what my queen could do there? So maybe Mickey's even just going to go rook d2, rook d1, and then just try and force through d5. That's also not so stupid.
Yeah, it looks like d5's on the card sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about this position is that black has absolutely zero counterplay. I mean, it's the way that black's played, giving up the dark squared bishop, putting the pawn in f5. It's solid, but there's no counterplay left. So white's really got a lot of time to to maneuver around and play for something. And actually, looking at it, this plan rook d2, rook d1, followed by d5 might just be very, very difficult to stop. So yeah, very yeah. Again, Mickey, well, showing his class as we expect, and Diamond under pressure. So he's a tough defender, Diamond. So we've seen a lot of good games from him in the past. So yeah.
So Keith's playing King f7.
King f7 from Keith. I thought. Wait a minute. What were we thinking about that? That was
e1, was it?
I'm just trying to think what what was our conclusion in the end, actually. But wait a minute, isn't rook d6 much stronger?
Oh, just rook d6 now.
This could be very unpleasant,
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we defend that with what? Rook e7?
Yeah. I mean, what I want to do really is because you're really passive there, and well, I mean, I can try rook e2, and this pawn is doomed now.
Rook b8.
Yeah. Now, what I'm thinking is that this is going to be way more dangerous with the two rooks on there. Because I mean, if you go king f6, I go f4, and then I'm going to have a discovered attack winning your rook.
Oh yeah.
And if you go to f8, then it's instant mate.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that rook 8 d6 is a really, because you can't defend with this anymore because I take on here.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can do this, but then I've got a bishop ending, which I think is probably. Well, I mean, your rook's in a worse place anyway, so I mean that would definitely be an improvement. So I think rook 8d6 is a really strong move, actually. Is my feeling. Because I think, you know, if you do something like this, you're getting away with it, which is a surprise to me, of course. I hadn't quite seen that. But at least here, even your rook's on d2, so you're covering b2 already. So, you know, the configuration of pieces is much better for you. So that would be a very dangerous move, I think, rook 8d6. But quite a difficult one to spot, I think.
Yeah.
Unless maybe I'm just overselling myself there. I think it's a tricky one to spot, but
well, there's lots of choices for white, isn't there? So it's easy.
Lots of choices. I think that's right. I mean, it's lots of choices, yeah. But white's spending some time here, which is good, because I think you know, it's quite important to just feel that moment of okay, this is where it could get crucial. You know, black's got all sorts of avenues for counterplay. How can I keep control? So you know, but white's got plenty of time, so we'll see it. But yeah, really very exciting game there. I'm a pickle against Mark. Bishop d2, d rook f4. So yeah, looking very strong for black here. Just this white king completely exposed. Mark playing very, very fast, so looking nice and confident. B4.
We've got a bishop ending in Schlock-Varner's game. Schlock is 2 pawns up, though, so that I guess it's going to be a win for black.
What's the
SV 2701?
SV 2701. Sean.
I'm a pickle in a pickle.
Yeah, this is looking very good for black. Although it's not going to be 2 pawns up here, is he? Because rook a7 is going to happen now.
True, true. So it's just
actually, that's not such an easy ending to win. That I have to say, because your 7th rank is nastily open. So you know, if you go rook a7, if you try and go something like rook c3, then bishop g6, and all of a sudden you've got to watch out a little bit.
Oh yeah, the bishop in there against the king, and the king's on the back rank. You're right.
Yeah, I think maybe you should go f5 here, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think white's got reasonable compensation here. I mean, I could go rook a6 and tie you down, you know, and then move my king in, and you know, it's not so easy. I think at any rate, it's going to require some conversion skills, I think, to get further with this ending. But still a tough fight ahead, I think. Oh, Dionysian is going for it with the old g4 here.
Excellent, excellent.
Got to watch out though, because e5 is definitely going to be a possibility soon, especially when you've gone g6. So yeah, all right.
Oh, yeah. Would you sack the exchange now?
Well, I'm sort of thinking maybe you maybe you have to, but I'm not sure. Maybe you don't have to, because I mean, rook h5. Are you really getting compensation here? Have you got enough compensation here? Queen h5. Well, actually, sorry, I've just spotted that my knight is on prise here. So,
yeah, you can't then.
So, well, yeah, unfortunately, you can do it. You could throw in bishop c3, because knight f4, bishop a5 takes unprotected. Ha-ha. Very important, that ha-ha. You always got to do the ha-ha. But on the other hand, after queen b6, or something, I'm threatening e5 as well. I have the feeling that white's just gone for this a little bit too early. You know, would be my intuitive feeling about this. But I mean, rook f1 is possible, but I mean, the one thing about that is that e5, I go knight f5, you know. And, although, yeah.
Knight f4.
What would an engine say to you? Would Stockfish just laugh at you? You're threatening queen f5. Stockfish might just laugh at you. Well, Stockfish not, but actually it's the same Peter Chaplin who keeps on Twitter, he keeps on writing messages with the voice of Stockfish. So every time I put something about the Computer World Championship, he says, like, yeah, is Leela going to hold this? And then Peter Chaplin writes, Stockfish. Of course not. Just so many messages from Stockfish. Yeah, I don't know. It's very speculative. This, I don't know whether this is really feasible for White. Because again, if I go Queen G4, Queen D2, yeah, I mean, I'm never going to be able to avoid the petrol check. And
yeah, you're going to put in that rook bishop C3 again, don't you?
And bishop C3, Queen F5 is
yeah.
Rook H5 played. Okay, well, I appreciate. I think the yeah, the spirit is correct. So full marks for that. Just wondering whether this is really. Is this really an attack that's going to...
The bishop is so nice, isn't it? You kind of think, but then you need more than one bishop for it to make an attack.
We're missing an open file here. That's the thing.
Yeah, we are.
And this queen is actually very irritating attacking these things. I mean, I don't know. The question is, how slowly can you play it? You could do something like, for example, knight F1.
Oh yeah.
But then I think with black you start shaking it all up with b5 and I don't know. I mean, how am I getting through here? I'm not really sure, and I'm already threatening c3 here with black. So I'm not sure. I will be happy to see White come up with some great stuff here, but I'm not quite seeing it myself. I think that's just that's all I can say. But good to see White players, going for it like that. I mean, that's always good fun. Is there anyone else that we should be looking at, Natasha? Anyone you can think of?
If we have everybody yet. We didn't look at Gerasimos Giachos against George Gazis yet.
That's Gil, isn't it, somehow? What's his username? GIYL?
We didn't look at yet. Now I look properly. It is GIYL.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so. This is a very nice ending, isn't it, for White? Pawn up, knight, super solid. And attacking another pawn as well. So, yeah, I'm afraid black's not long for this world, I think. King F3 now, and then rook B5. And, yeah, I think this is just going to be a reasonably comfortable win for White here.
Okay, another game we didn't see is Edison Zhu against Tashika Aurora.
Oh, is it Eddie?
Is it Eddie 988? EDI _988.
Much preferred Edison's other handle. That was much better. Okay. What have we got? We've got a very difficult rook ending for black here. King F6 threatened, and if you go rook G6, then I'll go rook H7. So yeah, I think this is lost for black. So just yeah, you're never going to be quick enough with any counterplay. So looking very good for White here, this one.
Okay, we also didn't see Prachi Aurora, sorry, against Shavazali, and that is Cute Puppy 09.
Oh yeah, with a lovely photo, isn't it? Sorry, I'm
photo of a puppy, we should say. Yeah,
cute puppy. I'm not getting that one.
Okay, let me see if I can get it. Could be finished.
I mean, let me just get rid of. No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm looking a bit odd. I've got my
Chevs _7 is the opponent.
Oh well, we'll have a look at that one. Let me just get rid of a few of these analysis boards, and let me just follow.
I think it may be finished actually. I can't get it.
Chavs _07.
Just 7.
Oh, sorry.
But I didn't get it. I just tried now.
Okay. 7. or chapeau. That's finished there. All right, well, let's go. Let's do a round through games. Hey, Mickey playing a4. So sort of mixing the plans, basically. But I think it's a very good idea to play the pawn up to a5. Just and I do think at some stage rook d2, rook d1, and will probably be quite a really strong plan, I think. But yeah, gaining some space with a4, a5 is not bad at all. Freddie the mate has played rook 8 d6. Look at that.
Oh wow. Okay.
King f6. Now I was thinking. Oh, this is very strong. This is really strong. Because I was thinking of f4. That was my initial. Oops, sorry. That was my initial thought. When I go rook e6 takes, and then I'm hoping. Yeah. That I've got a great discovered attack somehow, but I haven't actually seen it yet, and maybe it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But what Freddie has done is he's gone rook e3, bishop c6, and now he's gone f4. So is it
better? Yes. Okay.
Is it better? I thought it was, and now I'm not sure anymore. So takes. I think it's got to be rook e6, king f7. How astonishing that you don't. I mean, I can go rook
e5 or something.
Sorry,
rook e5.
Yeah. I think that's probably the. That is probably quite decent. I was just wondering because the line of the bishop has been open, so I was getting a bit. I was sort of wondering a little bit. Oh, what is it? But I'm not sure. I think rook takes c5 here.
Because it does hit the bishop, so you at least can't take the b.
Yeah, I mean, if you go bishop b4, I've got rook b5, I think, which is probably going to be quite nasty. So you maybe have to go back to e8, but then in that case, we've got your passive. And, I am not sure what to do here with, but I could go rook c7 check, because, for example, here I can come here and force exchange of rooks. So then you might need to come back here. But, well, I could still go rook c8, actually. Because obviously rook b2, I've got bishop d7. Oh, no, I've got rook e2.
Rook e2, yeah. And then we can do bishop a4.
That is possible. Yeah, and then exchange everything off, and then you're just winning the king and pawn ending.
Yeah.
So that is possibly a very, very good move, rook e3.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? I wonder how this is going to go.
It certainly is. Sort of, yeah, the only thing I wonder, I mean, could you go e4 here? That's what I'm wondering about. That is maybe the slight flaw in the plan, I fear.
E4. So what about f5?
Yeah, then king e5. Takes. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure about this, but well, I mean, I could even go g6, for example, or yeah, g6. I want to do.
Yeah, I see. And our rook doesn't.
No, the key point about it is I'm threatening h5 to get rid of that pawn, and after h4, king f4 forks the 2.
Yeah.
I want to go h4 to go bishop h3. So actually, probably black isn't any worse here. Maybe black's even
e4
better.
has been played.
Okay. This is a crucial moment now. Crucial moment, and the big question is here whether white's got something here. I mean, what you could do is just to go back like bishop d1.
Okay.
Would that be an idea? I want to go bishop c2 basically, and just take the pawn. You know, I want to claim.
Okay. Yeah.
But
okay, so bishop d1, rook b8. Oh no, you can't.
You can't. You can go rook b7. That's the. But then I'm wondering here. I mean, bishop g4 would be possible, right? With a draw by repetition, that is absolutely possible. So we're playing from a position of strength here as white. That's always important. And then I could play bishop c2, maybe.
Okay.
How is that?
Rook b2.
Yeah, rook b2. If I go king e7, which looks vaguely tempting, then I can take like this and go bishop e4, and I fork you. So that would be quite good. So rook b2, I go bishop e4. Whoops. And I think you've got to take this, because otherwise, I mean, if you go away, I'll go bishop d5 or something, and it's just that's crazy probably. So bishop takes e4, rook takes e4. Okay, rook a2 maybe. I mean, rook e8 is possible. Rook e8 is indeed possible. Maybe that's better. Because I was sorry, not that. I was thinking, I was thinking of rook a2, maybe rook e6, and get some sort of counterplay against the king, on the 7th or something, like this, and then rook there, and but maybe you can just go rook e8 here.
Yeah, because Black's rook's very active now. That one.
Hey, not quite a GM. How are things?
Hello.
I don't know. That's really exciting. B3 White's played. That's a very that's a sensible move. Very sensible. Just really trying to resolve the situation. I mean, if you go a3, which is possible, then at least there's no longer a rook b8 to b2. So then in that case, actually, bishop d1 might be a very good idea. And you're just going to pick up this pawn. So if you don't go, if you don't do that, I mean, maybe, are you going to go g6 maybe? I can go g5 even, just to try and loosen this up. Very complicated ending, this. Really very, really way too bad. But you're not going to end on 0.
Oh no, the only person on 0. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Oh, thanks. Not quite a GM. Glad you're enjoying it.
So
yeah, we're always here for British chess events. So it's although sometimes there's somebody who looks slightly younger than me. Oh, don't worry, really way too bad. It'll get better. No,
you'll be fine. Yeah,
exactly. That's right, Wilsonia.
And actually, all the games have been really good. It's a tough old tournament.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to work out your. I think you're. Yeah, you're. How would you say your name? Yonggui Wang. Is that right?
Let's have a look. So g6, h4, h5, bishop h3 has been played. So bishop has gone back to h3 to keep pressure on e6. Yeah. This is very, very unclear, this one. All depends whether Keith can
hang on in there. Sorry. Yeah, and we'll follow you. We'll follow you tomorrow. Sorry.
All depends. Is it good? If you exchange sacrifices, yeah. This is very unclear, this one. It all depends whether Keith can find some sort of good way of organizing his pieces, because at the moment he's completely tied up. The bishop on c6 is tied to the e4 pawn. The rook on e7 is tied to the e6 pawn, and rook on c8 is tied to bishop c6. So we need a good way to reorganize the pieces.
I mean, can Black still attempt the b file?
But how?
I don't know, like take on b3 and rook b8 or rook b8. Oh, you still can't do this rook b8. Yes, okay. We can't drop the bishop. Yeah, we are tied up.
I mean, the only thing I can suggest is to because I'm actually a bit nervous that if I go bishop a8 immediately, you might even just take the pawn, and then just have a passed a pawn, which will move up to a6. You know, that's what I'm really worried about.
Yeah.
So maybe you should take it. It's very interesting ending this. Take it. I mean, rook b3 is not so silly, you know. I'm coming with rook b6 afterwards. But okay, let's just assume AB. That's the most natural move. We can't.
You're right, though. Rook takes b3 does look nice, doesn't it? Because then you've still got your a pawn as well, and your rook coming in.
It's possibly very strong, actually. It's possibly very strong, but because your king is coming into e3, it makes this nice little. Yeah, Mark's playing this round. He's playing against.
Yeah, he's doing really well this round as well. He's got a good attack going.
Yeah, this is Mark's game so far. So.
Oh, look at those tripled. Is that going to win? It's got tripled major pieces and a passed e-pawn. That looks pretty nice, doesn't it?
This is nearly over here. So looks like Mark's going to bring home the point there. Yeah, I mean taking on. Oh, I meant sorry, my analysis board has gone. Yeah. Oh, Keith has gone bishop b7 here, so he's trying to keep it tight at the back. He doesn't want to give this. I'm sure Keith is very aware of. Wary of giving this rook more extra mobility somehow. So he's just
can White play that? Can White play BA?
I would. It's definitely an option here. I think Keith is planning to play rook c6 here. That's the cunning one. So just yeah, and then it's the question somehow. You know what are we doing? Is this any? I mean, it's certainly not silly. It's a big a pawn, but I think then black gets e5 in and starts. Yes, I'm sorry if we're swapping a bit quickly. It's but yeah, I think Mark's definitely winning that really clearly there. So yeah, this is the question: is this a good idea? This BA or but rook c6 is coming in, so. We kind of we do sort of
rook c6.
Yeah, that's going to be Keith's next move. So if we want something, we need something against that. B takes a4 does tempt me an awful lot.
The bishop's not on the perfect diagonal, is it? The white bishop.
Well, yeah, this was it's quite a committal decision. This one, yeah, Mark has won that.
That's one. Oh, well played, Hebs. Fantastic.
Congratulations. Well played. I'm a pickle, but yeah, very well played, Mark, for winning that. That's yeah, rook c6 coming in. I mean, there's a couple of ideas. I mean, rook b6 is possible as well here. And then after rook c6, you go rook b5, and you're sort of tying this rook can't move, and you are threatening rook takes e4 here. So
he's played BA.
He's played BA. Yeah,
Freddie the mate has played BA, and rook c6 has happened.
Rook c6 from Keith. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very principled decision. I don't. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely it was a very serious possibility in this position. The only thing that I'm wondering about is, I mean, this move rook b6 sort of kept some control somehow, whereas b takes a4 now you've really got to be, yeah. But I think probably we're just going to go. I think probably White's idea is just to take. And go, even wondering about rook b3 here, and then rook b6.
Oh, giving back the a pawn, but then you've still got another a pawn, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got another a pawn, and your king's coming in here. This might be actually even stronger, just to do this, because you can't get. You see, what I was just wondering a little bit about. Well, actually, yeah, a5. Well, what I was wondering about was this move, e5. That was what was worrying me. And, you know, if we start getting like this, then black's probably not going to be worse because the king's so active. But this move, rook b3, if e5, I can go rook b6.
Yeah, keeping more control, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that this is actually quite a good shot. Rook d7 takes, because then I take here, and all of your pawns are going. If you see what I mean.
Mm.
So so after rook b3, if you take on a4, I go rook b6, and I've got you tied down because of this e6 pawn, and you can't play e5. So what you could do maybe is to go rook a7, rook b6, bishop d7, and you kind of got yourself organized there. That is maybe better.
Do we bring our king in?
Well, you're just going to go rook a4 then,
Mm.
rook c4. You've got yourself come. This bishop is now turning out to be,
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those decisions, bishop h3, that if you when you play it, you've got to.
I suppose White could play g3 and reroute.
Could do. That's possible. I mean, it could be that after a5, e5, you should go g3 here. That is possible, because you're keeping the king out of bay, and you're giving your bishop the chance to come back. You promise when you go bishop g2, I'll go king f5. I mean, you maybe take and go rook b7 somehow, something like this. And if bishop g2, you go king f5.
White's gone rook d8.
Okay, that was indeed another idea. You're coming round the back, but I'm not. E5 now, maybe for, or is it maybe f5 is the idea here? Oh no, wait a minute. There I have rook e4, of course. So, but I guess rook b6 is what I'm guessing here. I'm not sure. Rook b8. Wow, it's a hell of an ending. This one. It's very.
Could White play rook b3 as well to try and?
Oh, you're right, Natasha. That's a very good move. That is a very good move. A very irritating move. So maybe maybe I should maybe go rook a6 immediately then. Oh, but we. It's all quite worrying, this. I mean, you know, what I'm wondering about is rook b8, then maybe bishop a6.
Well, what about rook f? Because the king would probably have to go back, wouldn't it? We could do rook f8 first, and then rook b8.
Yeah. I mean, there's potential for mates against the king. So the king's quite short of squares. I was looking actually at rook b6 takes and bishop takes e6. Rook e6, rook b7. When I'm threatening rook f8 mate, that's why it occurs to me. Here we go king f5 and you get out of it, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Let's look at a few more games. We'll come back and see how that one proceeds. Mickey against Diamond Naught. Black's played h6 g5 to take some control of the dark squares. Not a bad plan. And Mickey played rook d3, rook d1, as we thought. And Diamond Naught has played queen d6. And the slight question here is whether queen d6 and d5 is going to be winning. It could well be. Takes. Because if you go rook d8, I just go bishop c5 and then chop you and then chop you. That's what I do. So probably have to go back there, and then I can just take on here when I'm pawn up. One thing you've got to watch out a little bit for, though, is something like g4 and bishop b5, which could be irritating. Interesting. Diamond Naught, just in time, he's managed to create some counterplay here. Of course, queen a6 is also an idea. Rook b8, queen a7. But probably you'll just do this, and then you'll claim somehow that that White's messed this up by not so clear. It's a little bit, always a little bit messy. I don't think you should be looking for that. Maybe White should just be playing quietly. I'd expect Mickey to play something like Queen A4 or Queen C3 or something. Queen A4 or Queen B3? No, probably not Queen B3. Queen A4, and just hold it a little bit and wait to see what he can do. It's a good plan, this, from Diamond Lord H6 G5, taking control of some dark squares and also giving this some G4 ideas. So Diamond Lord playing tough there, but of course somewhat short of time. So
Freddie's done a different. Sorry to keep going back to Freddie's, but he's done a different move than we were thinking. He's gone Rook G3.
Wowzykins.
Which I guess means he's going to bring his other rook round and try and win that G pawn.
Well, we've got a couple of ideas. We've got Rook G5 is one idea, attacking the pawn on C5. So, and the other one is indeed the one that you mentioned. So, I'm not seeing anything decisive, but I could be missing tactics. So, Rook A4. That's basically that's against that plan. So, you know, there we are. I'm taking on C4. So, what are you going to do? You can go Rook F8, but then I go King G7. And I don't see anything else. So Rook G8 is what I'm expecting. But then you go Rook G7.
Yeah. And so we could go, or Bishop E6, couldn't we?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I like this one because I'm threatening F5. That's why I was thinking of it. But maybe it just leads to the same because you probably just go King F6. But this is not. This isn't really better for White, this one.
No, okay.
So, I mean, I can go Rook E8, though.
Okay. And then it's...
That one's very painful. Yeah, that one's very painful. And then you've got to go Rook A6 to defend. Oh, and then I go Rook G5. That is nasty. I think that's nasty. Oh, Freddie's done Rook G. I'm pretty sure that Rook G8, Rook G7. I think that Rook E8 was the move there.
Okay.
That Rook E8 was a really strong move here, I think. I don't see how Black defends. I mean, Rook E7, Rook G6 is really strong, and Rook A6, Rook G5. I can be wrong, but it just feels like I don't see what Black's doing. I don't see how Black. And I'm just going to. I'm threatening to take the pawn on C5. I think this is strong for. This would have been strong for White, but so he's played Rook G7, takes, Bishop B6, King F6, but I don't think that Black's worse anymore now.
Yeah. So he has to go what? Bishop D5?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We got to be a little bit careful here with White. I think. Not to end up worse. Maybe Bishop D7 is a good move here. And after Rook somewhere...
Rook A2?
We'll go Bishop E8.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Here, here, and here.
He's done it. He's done Bishop D7.
Okay. But he's going to come here.
So we better take on G6 with the rook.
E3.
This is getting dangerous now. The other way.
Yeah, this is incredible. This is really. This is maybe turning around somehow. I think you should go. Yeah, but then we go E3, and this bishop's all of a sudden it's just all got powerful. So I think Keith's got to take on A2 here, I think.
Yeah.
Ah, no. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I've spotted what the idea is.
Something.
Rook A2, we go rook B3.
Okay.
And that bishop is quite awkward.
So you'd have to go, what, back to A8?
Yeah, and then I can go rook B6 check, and I push that.
The king has to go back. Yeah.
I push the king back, but yeah, on the other hand, this E3 is still really dangerous. I would rather be black here, I have to say. It's just, we're going to see how, yeah, Keith played rook A2. So, yes, it's quite crucial now. I'm not quite sure what white should play, because I think he is just slightly worse now. I mean, if you just forget what's happened in the previous play, you know, where white's been pressing all the time, and you just look at it now, active king, passive king, really active rook, less active rook, half pawn, you know, you start adding it up, So, yeah, I don't know. But I think it turned on one move. I think, you know, it really did turn on one move there. I think this rook E8, unless I'm very much mistaken, that would have been a big advantage for white, I think. But after this, white just lost control. I mean, I think, just in general, I think, you know, this is a sort of consequence of when you play a move like b takes a4. You've really risked it up, you know, because your mobility is increasing, but you've weakened your pawn. So then every move, you know, you can get more sudden turnarounds than if you manage to keep it control with a nice, beautiful pawn structure. And that point of view, maybe this move rook b6 was you know, an easier one to play, just keeping the pawn structure together. Although I think that b takes a4 wouldn't amaze me if you put it on the engine, that the engine said ba4 and then, you know, concrete line winning, you know. But this looks very difficult now for white. So yeah, going to be white's got time. So you know, that's good. But you're playing against a very strong endgame player here. So this is not really the defensive position that you'd want against Keith.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe what you could do, I'm thinking, just thinking on my feet, is bishop b8, king f5, takes, check, king f4, rook here. And after e3, I'll go bishop h5.
Okay, yeah. And if the pawn goes on to e2, do we just take it off?
No, well,
no. Okay.
That would be rather risky to play rook and bishop versus rook against Keith, I think. But I think this one you can do. You can just go king f2, because oh god, wow, is that a move?
What's that?
Can't be a move. Oh no, I was just thinking bishop g2 here.
Oh golly, you better not take that. You can take on c5.
C5. Yeah, take on c5, and then I go. Yeah, that's true. This is not over yet.
And then we're threatening bishop e2.
You're not threatening bishop e2 because I've got bishop f3 afterwards. That's always the idea.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, rook c5.
Rook c5. I was wondering about rook g4, but it still looks. I think I'd just go king e5. So we'll have a look. Rook c5. Do I have anything brilliant here? If there was justice in the world, I'd go e1 queen and king e3, and it would be mate. But
you can do those, but it won't be mate.
Indeed, we've often noticed that there is no justice in the world somehow. That is quite dangerous, but I don't imagine that could ever be. Well, I don't know. Just humor me just for one moment here.
All right. Okay. Rook e5.
Bishop e4.
But that's fine. c5. Oh. Yeah, all right.
You go rookie 4, I think, and you draw you draw that ending, I think.
Yeah.
No. So maybe this is a decent one. E3 bishop h5. Because you're also threatening rook g4 check, so you might be able to drive the king away sometimes. But I mean, it's uncomfortable, right? I mean, you know, the chance that you'll end up in rook and bishop versus rook is quite high.
Lots of stuff's happened.
Oh, good lord. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so I understand what. Yeah, he went rook b3. That's what we were looking at. We had this line, yeah, and I said I'm not sure about this one, but he went bishop c6, which is very. I mean, this is a very sensible plan, just to e3 from Keith, because bishop a8, we've got rook check, king h2, and e2. You know, so
okay. We could just take on a8 and king f1.
No, rook a1 check after bishop a8, and then e2, and
yeah.
So we have to go king f1.
Yes,
probably. No, that's not strictly true. You could go bishop d5 as well. Because then we'll have rook e6 check.
Yeah.
That is not stupid.
You could still go rook a1 though.
Yeah, I go so. My goodness, having to work hard in this game, Natasha.
Yeah.
King h2. Yeah, because at e2 I've got rook e6. So
yeah.
How are you going to do this? But this is if you get rook e6, and I think you're fine with white.
Yeah.
I mean, the question, the only sort of the question I have is if you do something like, and I'm just struggling to think, maybe king d7, rook e6, and then you go rook e1, something like this. And then I'm just going to go c4, c3. Do you have counterplay here with white, or is it just, why are you just in a lot of trouble? I'm not sure. King g3.
Got to get the king out, haven't you? Yeah, king f3.
You're in time, aren't you? I think. No, you're not in time. I go check.
King e2. Oh.
King e7. I think you have to.
All right, Bogdan won.
Bogdan won. Wow.
Won.
How do you do this? I just saw the game after c5. He'd got this break in. Oh, and black went desperate here. Okay. Or went tactical, rather. Wow. This is maybe asking a bit too much here. Okay, yeah. A creative play from black, but it just didn't quite hang together somehow. So Bogdan picking up his win there. Well played, Bogdan. That was a good game. Uboshka beat Eddie 988 there. So wait a minute. Okay, how does that? Oh, did he lose on time? Because this isn't a win, surely. I think he must have lost on. I think black must have lost on time there.
Oh.
So Drunken Knight, Chris Duncan looking quite good still. If rook f5, I've got fe, and if you take, I take back, and I'm completely protected. I think you have to try rook f5 and then find something in there. And then if you don't find something, then that's just that'll just be the way it goes. I'm not really sure there is something there. Looks quite tricky for black to me.
Amir Abbas has some very active major pieces.
He's also got an extra knight as well, so
and an extra knight.
Yeah, that's also.
You should do the trick.
Yeah, that should do the trick. Hard luck dynamizing. That was a nice attack. Oh, good lord! It's gone wrong for, or has it gone wrong for Tactics Monster? it certainly isn't. It certainly got very messy.
Tactics monster against Ferrari fan. Oh gosh.
Yeah, because that was the one where I said white was in, in total control. But doesn't look like it anymore. It's just a total mess, this position. Ooh, is that wise?
F6,
white to play F6. Well, I suppose black's point might be that he doesn't want the king coming into F6. So he's going to spend the tempo to force F6, and then, but these are.
Yeah, but then so F6, and then we can go Rook H7.
Well, I guess King G8 is what I'm guessing is the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, Bishop A2 is coming, Bishop A4. Maybe it wasn't a bad idea at all, actually. It was maybe a very good idea. This bishop is so strong, it's covering this key diagonal. I think white's going to be, white could be sort of position that white can very easily lose now. Oh, that would be a real shame for Arjun after a very controlled performance. Let's have a look. What happened here? Rook b6, check king e7, bishop e6, e3. And white played king f1, which was the other way of doing it. I was looking at bishop d5. Check, takes. This looks like a draw to me. Although
it's not over till it's over. That's what
I will tell you that Freddie's going to have to. He's going to get the Keith Arkle experience here because
he's going to get it. Yeah, the longest game in the round. Let's see it.
Rook e5 check. It's going to be this, isn't it? It's going to be the
God, Rook and 2 against Rook and 1. So that's the same ending as, wasn't that Keith against not Flush yesterday?
I'm not sure. No, yeah. Well, it was Rook and 2 versus Rook and 1, but this is Rook and 2 versus 1 on the same side, and I think Keith has probably won more of these than anyone else. It's a draw, of course, but yeah, it'll be a toughie.
It's a draw, but Freddie's not out of the woods. Yeah,
not out of the woods yet. No, but he's doing. Yeah, he's doing quite. Yeah, I suppose is Keith's thinking here. I wonder. I don't think there's any. So I mean, if you go king e2, then you go rook g4. So I would have thought that that there is really no way for white to avoid this. You've got to go for this rook and 1 versus rook and 2. So well, Mickey against Diamondaut. Lots has happened. Let's have a look. So
I hope your head doesn't explode.
My head doesn't explode.
I'll tell you, but it's been a tricky old game, hasn't it? This one with Freddie.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough old round, but it's been some great games here. Especially this Frederick LeMay against Keith has been an absolute joy to analyze, I have to say. So it's good. It's good seeing the young player hitting the. I'm not going to say the elderly grandmaster, but the experienced grandmaster and but Keith rolling with the punches, holding this end game, finding resources, and maybe just emerging to put the youngster under pressure again. It's perfect. It really is perfect. So I was a bit worried about this for Mickey. I wasn't sure this was really. I thought this was maybe going too fast. I hadn't seen rook e3. I'd expected. Oops, sorry. I'd expected rather than bishop e5. I'd expected g4 here from black, followed by bishop b5. But maybe Mickey would go rook e3 anyway. That is probably true. So I was just missing something. Knight g6, g4, bishop c5. This is quite sharply calculated from Mickey. But he's got a winning position, so that's sort of well done, Mickey. F4. At g4, Mickey's just rook takes c5 played, but knight f4 allows rook f5 check. There will be no tricks today. So it looks like Mickey's going to move to 3.5 here. He's also got loads more time than Diamondaut as well.
Yeah.
King f6. Oh, Keith. Keith, what is this though, Keith?
So what are we doing? King e2.
I'm very surprised with that. Was I missing something? Was
You're expecting rook h4?
Yeah, I thought that was just because I'm not sure about this one. Is this really?
Oh, are you thinking white will go g3?
Just trying to work out what Keith's aiming for, because I think the risks of him not getting his favourite ending are quite large now. Because I mean, what if I just go g3 here? What's Keith's idea here?
Let's say rook g4.
He's played king e2, which is also quite reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought g3, but was Keith going rook g4, rook g5? But that's not good, surely. I don't understand that really. But okay.
He's going to go rook d4 next, isn't he, and try and take the h pawn.
Yeah, no, this is rook d5 was maybe not such a good idea. No, this was very bad, rook d5, I think. You had to go, I think you had to go rook c6 check. Surely. Chase the king back and go. Because I mean, yeah. I think he's made a big mistake here. I think, although I'm not. Let's because I think rook c6 check was possible because you could just here you go check, takes and then c5. So you chase the rook, you chase the king back. For example, here, and then you go rook e7, and then rook g4. You go rook e4, and you're perfect. You know, you're completely covered here. So, but after rook d5, rook g3 check, how are you covering this h4 pawn?
You'll have to. You maybe counter, because if you come backwards, you can't defend. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm.
Oh no.
Well, okay. What we can do. I mean, what we can do is to try and hang on this pawn. So we just keep on checking, and then we come back here, you know, and you're just hanging on it. So what you'll need to do then, but you can go king e6.
And then rook g5.
Yeah, but then we take it and we come here.
And black wins the endgame.
Wait a minute. That's not Hun. Is that, well,
h4.
It's just a question. No, you're all right. You're sort of all right. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's in a way, it's too fast for me in a way to be sure about these things, but it's possible that this is drawn. Oh, but king f5. No, king g5. Do you maybe take and come here?
And we have to go c5.
No, then we come back and then we win the pawn.
Yeah.
But what I could do after king f5 is go king e3 takes and c5, but then I just come back here and that would be just winning.
Yeah.
c5. What I'm wondering about is c5, king e5, king e3, king f3, king d5, king f4 takes. I have to wait a tempo. Well, h4 it's the same ending as before. You know, I mean, I can just ensure that I've got the opposition. So I maybe wait, and then I go h4 takes here, h2. This should be winning. Tricky. Oh, Keith's got this one though. Oh, this is going to be winning surely for black. Yeah,
oh no,
this is winning.
Mickey's one, I see.
Mickey's one, yeah. Very convincing here from Mickey. Yeah, I think this is winning for Keith. Yeah, king d4. The pawns are too strong. So what a titanic struggle. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a good game.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, I think that this game really would be really worth analyzing this one really carefully, because I think you can both learn about conversion technique with white, and also defense with black, because I think Freddie was almost there with a conversion technique, but just yeah, maybe need to have a look at how that went, and then also maybe just have a look at how Keith defended the ending, and also played this ending as well. So I think if you get those lessons, then yeah, I think you know, this is worth this sort of thing is worth you know, 100 150 elo points. This so yeah. I think the advice is, you know, don't take this as a bitter defeat. Take it as a real opportunity to you know, as a great game, and a real opportunity to maybe learn some amazing things. But that's not a good move, rook h6. That's never going to work. Now it's just going to be be finished.
It's all over.
Yeah. H2 now. It's just winning. And rook c6 is a possible idea here. Yeah, hard luck, Freddie.
Yeah, really nice game. But,
very well played, Keith. You know, what can you say here?
Rook and pawn ending again.
Indeed. And rook c1 check and h1 queen, and it's oh, g4 even. Keith not even h1 queen here will be. Oh, Keith going there the nice safe way. So so look, Drunken Knight against Dandy Tassie. This is very good for Drunken Knight, of course. So I'm not sure.
Another rook and pawn in game, and
rook d6 is very good. That's very good technique. Rook e6 and then rook d7, and it'll all be over.
This is the last game going on, right?
Indeed.
While that's going on, so let's see the we've got the results in there.
Let me put the results up. I'll
actually, Jonathan Blackburn against Phil Brooks is.
Look, so Mickey is on 3.5. Keith is on 3.5. Paul Dargan, Yichin Han on 3. Bogdan on 3. Chris Duncan will be joining them on 3. Oh, Aryan Kulani lost. Hard luck, Aryan. Well defended, Robert. Robert's on 3. Okay, we'll have a look at Jonathan Blackburn, Gunslinger.
Yeah.
And then Mark Hebden, 1. Fantastic. Back in the hunt. Yeah. Okay. And indeed, Brandon Clark and Harry Grieve didn't play this round. Presumably had a bye. Let's have a look. Who this Gunslinger, but 222. I was thinking 22, but we are very lucky. I do think we always get good games, don't we? Ooh, when we follow these tournaments. Gunslinger. Ooh, another rook and pawn ending. Phil Brooks is well, if anyone's better, it's going to be black. But can you do anything with black here?
I mean, yeah, you might need to worry about that G pawn.
This is going to be.
So just going to be check.
G6. Okay. That's actually quite a good move. Could have gone rook g1, I think. Oh no, then you would have gone g5. That's right. Okay, rook g5 presumably is what black's going to play. But I guess king e6 is probably quite okay, isn't it? Yeah, king e6 would be fine. I think. Oh, king e6, king e6, king g6. Then I'm being a bit lazy here. I just want it to be a draw, really. Maybe probably rook e5 is the best. You can't go h5. You can't get your king out of the corner. I's played it, and if you take, I'll take here. So yeah, I'm not sure really.
Thank you, Apeza.
King h8 maybe, something like that. It's just this is just a draw. So should all be fine. It should just be a draw for there. And It's funny, you see that players finish the game, they're playing bullets straight away.
Can't get enough chess.
Can't get enough chess. Chris Duncan reading in the point slowly but steadily. Not much risk there. Yeah, Black having a good think here. I think King H8 is. I think you just got to understand this is just a draw, and you know, let's not do anything silly. The worst thing that you could do, I think, is to start, you know, playing around with your rook whilst your king's so constricted. You know, I think you should just leave it like this. Oh, rook g4. Okay.
Okay, so now he's going to take.
Yeah. No, I mean it's probably all fine. I mean, you go rook f4 check, and king g6 afterwards. That's probably fine too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was really necessary. I think we could just go here. And after king e6, you know, you bring a king in the center, then he takes off, and then you swap off rooks, and then it's just a draw. You know, I think that would have been easier. But this is, of course, a draw. After rook d8, you play rook e4 check. You push the king away again, and then you come in. Yeah, rook e4 check. I think now is yeah. I think that's a good move. The king has to go back. Yeah, that's well done. And then you go rook round to e1, and then all of your problems are solved there. You know, and
you're winning the guessing game.
Look at that. So yeah, and then well, white will push the d pawn, black will push the h pawn, and it's going to be a draw there.
Right. So it's two games going. Chris Duncan's is going to be a win for
that is
him.
Finished, I think now.
Is that already done? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And we just got Gunslinger carrying on.
Yep.
Rook endings are tough, not quite a GM. They really are tough. But yeah, we see a lot of mistakes in them. You know, just certainly. But I mean, you know, thing is, you know, you never play rook endings when you're fresh. You always play rook endings when you're tired, you're stressed, you're short of time. All the emotions of the game are still there. Maybe you're coming from a position that you've misplayed, and now you've got to hold it. You know, that's the tough thing about endings. You know, I think if you're training endings, it's not that it's not enough just to train them in terms of oh, when I'm nice and relaxed and I think about it, it's obvious. It's, you know, also, I mean, you know, there's a lot of rook endings where you learn them with the pawn on the right. You know, it's a king rook and pawn versus rook, king and rook. And you've learned it with the pawn on the right, and then the board switches. You get it with the pawn on the left, and you can't do it. It's like rook and bishop versus rook. I mean, you know, it's fine if you get it in the standard way with your king, you know, a certain way, but it can go in 4 different directions across the board. You know, I mean, that's the problem.
That's right. Rook and A and C pawn is a draw, right, against rook, and then you go, what about rook and H and F?
Yeah, that's. I mean, you know, you learn it with rook H and F, but rook A and C is the same, but it looks different somehow. You know, and it's all those sort of things, really. You know, yeah, that make the difficulty with playing endings.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should always be a little bit forgiving about it. You know, people get very sniffy sometimes when they say, "Oh, we didn't know his basic endings," but yeah, I tell you, playing them. Always remember Dr. John Nunn, you know, a phenomenal endgame player. He's written many books on rook endings, but he got confused, you know, in this sort of situation against Mark Hebden, and lost a theoretically drawn rook ending. But yeah, he was so upset about it afterwards. But you can understand. I mean, the stress, no time, trying to remember. I know it. I know this one. I know this one. But it was on the other side of the board, or you know, it was with white against black, and I'm black, and I need to, you know, it's that sort of thing. Just very, very difficult. But this is heading off to a nice draw.
This is a dead draw.
And
Very funny, very good.
Very good, very good. And a draw. So there we are. That's the final game of the round.
Okay.
So that'll mean that Phil Brooks will have 2.5. Jonathan Blackburn will have 2. So we might see tomorrow. Actually, we will see tomorrow, won't we? Big matchup: Keith against Mickey Adams.
Keith against Mickey's on the cards tomorrow. That'll be a fun one.
But Keith's got white, so that's probably always a positive thing.
It's going to end up in a rook ending, whether Keith has white or black.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Not quite a GM.
Thank you. All right, then. Thank you everyone very much for watching. We will be back at the same time tomorrow night, 7 p.m. For round 5 of the British Online Championships. Indeed. Thanks very much. Have a good evening.
Thanks very much, Wilsonia.